whatever an individual wants to do for themselves, whatever a person wants to call themselves, and whatever box they want to live in for themselves, right? I want to help people who are looking for help, who are trying to get away, not only from the poison, but from the poisonous life. You can't be a real alcoholic. You're not a real alcoholic. And I don't know, there's something just sad about that it's almost as if they've taken on the identity and they're using it as a badge of honor, right? It's something that they've gone through. I get the whole thing. I went through the struggles myself. I've helped countless people going through those same struggles, and it's a big deal, right? It is a big deal, you coming out the other end, but it's a process. It's a dynamic process. It's got a start, it's got a beginning, and it's got an end. And these people do not seem like they even see an end to it, right? That they're still stuck in the middle of this thing. It's become an identity of itself. That, I don't know, it's become sort of a mental coping mechanism to be able to say, well, geez, I'm a raging alcoholic, or I was a raging alcoholic and I can never go back to that, It's like, why would you ever want to go back to it? That's the whole point, You often hear these people walking around with, outrageous claims to fame, like they slept with JFK, or they, what was that one in The Commitments where your man was saying Elvis came over and got sick into his trumpet. And, it's like that's the story that they live by then for the rest of their lives, right? And I just don't get it. It becomes their story forever. You're never outside of that box that you've the label that you've boxed yourself into. So, I think one of the problems, look, whatever an individual wants to do for themselves, whatever a person wants to call themselves, and whatever box they want to live in for themselves, right? I want to help people who are looking for help, who are trying to get away, not only from the poison, but from the poisonous life, right? And I don't think you can do that if you're going to go from one box into another box, from one trap into another trap, right? It's an antiquated label. Even doctors don't use this label anymore. They call it alcohol use disorder, which I think is closer to the problem, but still falls far short of what the actual problem is. They've got tobacco use disorder as well. They've got heroin use disorder in the DSM. It's the psychological book that they use, psychological manual. But I'm sure in future versions of this book they're going to have maybe donut use disorder or forced cheese pizza disorder or something like that. I'm being facetious here, but I'm trying to get it to the point of what helps a doctor, right? What helps a psychiatrist? What helps a pharmacologist in their role doesn't help the person themselves, right? They're two separate things. What is good for a psychologist to call you, for a psychiatrist to call you, is one thing on their end of the deal. It makes them. This is what makes. I was going to say it makes them sound good. It does make them sound good. It used to be. I remember reading once about doctors that they write in Latin because they don't want the patient to know how simple sometimes the cures are. Because if they see that the cure is simple, they'll stop coming to the doctor. I don't know how true that is, but with everything that's going on I think social media can be a curse, but it can also be a good thing. And with social media, with just the internet in general, there's a lot more information out there. You've got to be a lot more circumspect about what you listen to, but it is what it is, right? So I think we're living in a society which is very keen on elevating victimization to a higher level, much higher level than it should be. I think it should be. That should be something that is pushed down. I think eventually everyone's going to have a disorder of some kind. Something that you can get get treatment for, you can go to visit a doctor for or a psychiatrist for, and it's usually expensive treatment, right? Anyway, I'm not a real alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic in any way, shape or form. Take care. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.